Oh, wait a minute. Shout out to Black Dawn and the BD Slide. That's the Steppers dance. Yeah. Oh, yes. We'll do it next week. Slide to the front and flip it like that. Take it to the left. Bring it down. This is how we party. Welcome to episode 6. We're in these streets. Yes.
Mark was out doing what he do.
Yes, I was out in the streets slinging this tea and lemonade. Deliciousbeverage.com, the official sponsor of our show. Go to deliciousbeverage.com. Use my code MARK2020. Get 20% off order today.
I want you to see how skinny my little man is.
I wore the black, babe. So, yes.
How much are you down
We're
now?
down 63 pounds.
Weight loss surgery on April 19th.
Yes, so this is about 2 months out. And she said, the doctor, I met with them, they said, this is when things kind of slow down a little bit, which is fine. You know, I'm still adjusting. You know, I'm on regular food now, you know, babe. You see me eating again.
Yes.
What are your observations quickly? Because we don't take a lot of time with this.
You're good. No,
Observations. Are you seeing me?
I see you doing your portion sizes. I haven't seen any junk, though. I didn't really see. That was the scary thing. Like, I never saw you really eat.
Yeah, I was a private eater.
He's a private eater.
Eating for money.
So you're doing good, baby. I'm proud of you.
All right. So, and we're going on vacation. So
let's get into it.
All right.
All right. So we might see you on Friday. We might not. Do you have the equipment to make it happen on
Pardon
Friday?
me?
Do you have the equipment to make it happen?
A question.
On Friday?
Sadly, Allison asked me caution that, and sometimes. Yeah, we do.
So we might see. At least we'll be.
We're on vacay, babe. I don't think we're gonna do it.
Okay. Well,
we'll do a vacation here.
We know our hundreds of subscribers need to see it. But
that's right. And shout out to
now,
babe. No disrespect, but again, we are approaching. We're at 300. Well, we're approaching 300 subscribers on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay. Honk the horn.
Thank you.
Wrong. Okay. Sorry. And then I was. Also, I gotta give myself some love. Reinventing Mark Clark is now. We have 1,000 subscribers. I tell him.
I tell him. People to come
I tell him. But it took. Remember, babe. I started this in November.
All right, so come on over.
Yeah,
anyway, so if you like what you see, like that, like what we do, subscribe, tell your friends, and your cousins too,
and your mama too.
So let's get into it. This is the Married in Media weekly review, where we what's happening?
Good the mic on. I don't know if they can hear you. Go ahead.
What?
They can hear you, but I'm just saying, you know, the mic right
let me just do this.
Look how pretty you are. Look at you, babe. We got a black on today.
The weekly review. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
You hear me better? How do you know if you can't hear me?
No, I was just saying.
I was just saying
maybe.
Headphones on.
Yeah.
All right. So some of the things that sort of stuck out for me this week. I'm going to start with this. This is General Marc Milley. Now, if you don't know him by name, he is the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, appointed by former President Donald Trump. He, was on Capitol Hill during hearings about, like, basically the military and all that, schools teaching, or I guess it would be teaching or spreading the views of critical race theory. Now, mind you, I don't think that this is actually being taught yet in schools or anything, but I think that they're, talking about it in the military. And so this is what he had to say when asked about how he felt about passing on critical race theory to those in the military.
I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it. So what is it that caused thousands of people to assault this building and try to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America? What caused that? I want to find that out. I've read Mao Zedong. I've read Karl Marx. I've read Lenin. That doesn't make me a communist. So what is wrong with understanding, having some situational understanding about the country for which we are here to defend? And I personally find it offensive that we are accusing the United States military, our general officers, our non-commissioned officers, of being, quote, woke or something else, because we're studying some theories that are out there.
And so the critical race theory aspect really is the right trying to create something. They're trying to create a conversation. At the end of the day, critical race theory is, like I say, at the collegiate level. But at the end of the day, what the right is trying to do is to take history out of schools, or a lot of the history hasn't been taught, but the history of America, enslaved Africans, slavery. They're trying to take that out of the schools. And so they're creating this whole hype around critical race theory, which really critical race theory is usually at the collegiate level,
right?
Not about real history. This is real history. It's not a theory. It's real history that they're trying to create a talking point to make people get rid of, and make schools get rid of teaching the history, and oftentimes the bloodied history of America. So
critical race theorists, just so we're on the same page, and this is where I get really disheartened, I get angry and outraged.
Because you see
critical race theory holds that law and legal institutions in the United States are inherently racist insofar as they function to create and maintain, that word's important to me, social, economic, and political inequities between whites and non-whites, especially African Americans. So for me, if you don't understand, so that basically means the people who say this is ridiculous and blah, 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 those are the same people who are not going to say that this country was founded on a system and a model of white supremacy, right? Because for whatever reason. Now, how can you deny that when when my mama didn't get her civil rights till she was 24 years old? And so my mama could not vote openly without, and even at that point, without fear of getting clubbed in the head in some states until 1965, until she was 25 years old. We need to be honest with this thing. If we cannot honestly say institutionalized racism
is real,
surely existed. I'm talking about back in the days of slavery, then segregation. I'm talking about the 100 years between the end of slavery and the Civil Rights, the Voting Act of 1965. 100 years. I'm talking about segregation in schools. I'm talking about these things that are on the books, that we have plaques to in different areas that say, this is where so-and-so integrated this school. These are facts. You negate all of that. You negate the experience and the suffering and the fortitude of Black people in this country if you say that this does not exist, that this was not built on a system, not even to hold anybody else down, but to hold up the people who thought that they were the only ones who had a right to be here. And every time I hear somebody or a video now say, go back to your own country, this is what that looks like in real time, because it's not your country. And so for me, I'm like, it doesn't really have anything to do with Black and white today. I'm not saying to a white friend of mine, you're inherently, you are bad because of this. No, I'm not saying that. And that's what I think people get stuck in. You're so caught in your experience. What we're saying is these things happened. This is the system it was based on.
And it's still happening.
And it's still happening. And the monuments that were built to it, they still exist.
Yes.
So it's like me walking through the door of a free place that I can walk into the front door of. Well, hell, walking into Macy's here in what used to be Hex or whatever, in the front door and walking through, but knowing that the building was once a segregated building, though I can walk in, and saying that maybe the remnants of that still exist. And therefore, I couldn't just pick myself up by my bootstraps, because my house was sold up under me because they wanted a highway. It makes me sad.
It's trickery. And the irony is they're trying to use they are an example.
But did you see the faces? There is no recognition of this.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's trick. The right is trying, it's a trick. They're using this as a trick. They're trying to eliminate the past, and they're trying to not deal with it. And they're really extending the theory. They're an example of the theory that we're talking about. They're an example of the theory we're talking about. They're not hearing. And so again, this conversation is not what's taught in your high schools, but they're trying to tie it to teaching the history of America, and saying that they're saying we're bad. That's what their line is. If you watch Fox News, they're saying that this theory says that all white people are bad, and so then people go,
right.
see, and I agree because my black neighbor thinks I'm bad too. So it's a talking
and that's
point.
not what anybody's saying.
Exactly, it's a talking point that they're used.
Speaking of which, a commentator on Tucker Carlson, whatever,
a fool.
He called that guy. He is the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He was put into place by former President Trump. He called him not only a pig. A pig. Now, you know what I'm talking about? When I say pig, I'm talking about rooting in the mud, a farm animal, but he called him stupid.
Of course he would do that.
And this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. In the meantime, a lawmaker did then, as a result of this, call for the defunding of the military if they're going to waste taxpayer dollars on this.
That's the new
But
trick.
This is the same organization that did not want to have a panel look into what happened on January.
Of course.
So I can't get too political, but but I cannot change.
It's too late now.
No, I'm sorry. I can't. No. That's not political. That's about who I am as a person, and I will stand on that. And if that's a problem,
that's my wife.
We got a problem.
That's right.
Now, in the same spirit, Juneteenth is now a federal holiday. And I'm all for Juneteenth being a federal holiday in a normal society.
Yeah, I think it's another trick.
But it feels like, why would Juneteenth be something that it wasn't unanimously passed? I don't think in one of the chambers.
Pretty much though. Again,
but we have it. It's a federal law. And look, before I'm quoted in a wrong way here, I'm about African American people. I'm about understanding the struggle that was enslavement. What our life, sorry, my lash is going crazy. My life, our lives before that, we didn't pop up out the earth being slaves. So I understand all of that. Should there have been a federal holiday for Juneteenth? Yes. Should there also be, more acknowledgement of the pain and the suffering of Black people because of slavery? Of course. But it just feels like, how could this be the same body of people that so readily understands?
Oh yeah, can't get voting rights.
Right. Like, in the same time, the For the People, I think it was called For the People or Power to the People or People Always, whatever, talking about the voting rights, not at all passed, dead on arrival. So
that makes that raised the flag for me too.
Yeah, interesting.
Things that are happening right now. You have to fight tooth and nail for human rights, but then you just randomly, out of the air, just pick Juneteenth, which needs to be
people have been fighting
acknowledged.
For it. Yeah, we've been celebrating it. Somebody said, Candace Owens, I think she'll say, I'm an American. I will, Juneteenth is lame. I'll celebrate on July 4th. I'm all for Juneteenth. Lame. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
Definitely.
What I'm saying is it's just a weird sort of, what is it? Almost
I have no
dichotomy.
Words.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird dichotomy.
Right.
Yes.
It's almost like a schizophrenic type of reaction. But I think Juneteenth is one of those things, and then we're going to move off this, but Juneteenth is one of those things that if you vote against it, and people did vote against it becoming a federal holiday, people also voted against King being a federal holiday. But if you vote against it, you really look like a jerk.
They don't care about that. I mean? But that's what I'm saying. That's what makes the flag come up, because they don't care about that. They vote against everything. Every humane thing.
All right. That's it. Now my blood pressure is way up. Did we say we're going on vacation?
All right. So that we started. Welcome to Radical Talk with Allison and Marc. Coming up next.
That's who I am in my heart. But I think if you know me, I think you know that.
Coming up next, why are they trying to keep a brother down?
Okay. Coming up, let's talk about Nick Cannon.
Yeah. Nick. I call him Nick the Cannon. Nick, who?
Yeah.
Nick,
that's
I think,
hilarious.
Was it in 1 week? No. Did we celebrate?
In 1 week.
Double twin? No. What did we
In
celebrate?
1 week, we said he just had these beautiful twins.
I think he just had this with this young lady.
Okay, twins. She's beautiful.
She's beautiful. But then announced another twin.
And then another woman came online and seemed to basically hinted the fact that she was having Nick Cannon's baby. So that
what's the twins
so
thing?
So that'd be she just had twins.
Didn't he have two twins back to back?
He had Mariah Carey. He was married to Mariah. They had twins back in the day.
Okay.
And then he had set of twins. And right when after that announcement came word of another woman.
With a twin or one?
No, just one.
So I thought we had 4 in 1 week. Are we off on our numbers?
We have had 4 babies in 6 months. we have had, that makes 7 babies total. 4 babies in 6 months.
Including Mariah Carey's babies.
Including, well, they're not just Mariah's. Now they're both.
No, I'm saying just to keep the clarity.
Yes.
They had 3 with Mariah Carey.
No.
How many kids did he have?
Let's talk about this later. Let's talk about this.
Oh, I'm trying to get the Nick Cannon count up.
I'm trying to tell you what.
Okay, go count the babies, baby. Let's go.
I can't count them. He had 7. He's had 7 children. Okay,
including with Mariah Carey.
Yes.
Okay, how many does he have with Mariah Carey?
2.
Oh, he just has 2. Okay, 2 with Mariah. Okay, there's 2. Okay, babe. Okay, then let's go.
I don't know the names of the mothers.
Let's count the Cannons.
I ain't counting nothing. I'm telling you, he's had 7 children. Period. 4 in 6 months. That's all I can tell you. Okay, and that's enough. So what I'm saying, there was a quote that I had earlier, but you got me so
flustered.
Yes, with your line of questioning. My God, are we writing a book on it? But basically he said back in the day, now I done lost the thing, that he feels like, this is an old interview where he felt like that's what we were born to do. We're here to procreate and, keep this thing moving forward. So that's where he's coming from. And then we know that he has a chronic illness, though I forget what it is. And so, there's also that theory, somebody came up with it, that he's just trying to make sure that he leaves this earth well represented. So maybe when that, well, he's dealing with, I think he's living with it. I mean, it's not like,
maybe you don't feel like you're gonna live long.
Maybe
so
you don't feel like
it. Kids.
So my thing only to this is, and look, first of all,
no judgment.
Everybody knows what they're doing. These are adults, consenting couples, or they're in whatever sort of relationship. My thing is, I just do think about like the kids, because when you have so many, and it's like, it doesn't seem like he's with these women more than, I don't know that he's getting married again. That's what I'll say.
Oh, no. No.
So I don't know. It's an interesting thought. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Well, if you can pay for them, I guess.
Is it all about just paying? I don't think that's it. I think there's an emotional attachment that comes with being a parent. So that's the question. But look, so Nick Cannon, just congratulations to you and all your babies. I do wonder, they talked to Mariah Carey about it, and she had some sort of a comment, which was probably like, "Do you, Nick? I mean, he's grown. These women are grown." So
you think that was a comment?
And by all accounts, he is a good dad.
Yeah.
But it's like, you still want your daddy there on, like I always say, on a Tuesday night when you can't get the baby to bed, you wish that you could just, call daddy in too. But anyway, so Nick Cannon is populating the earth. And also quickly, as a follow-up to the South African woman who was going to be in the Guinness Book of World Records for having 10 babies at once. Turns out it might not have been she might have, now I'm not going to say, I don't know what the reasoning is, but she has been admitted to a psychiatric facility.
Yes.
And there's no trace of the birth.
But some are maintaining the children did happen, but I guess when I say some, that's what a news story said. So,
okay. Well, we wish her well, because to come up with a story like that is something is not right. You're going to get caught, because you're going to have these. You're going to either have these kids or not have these kids.
And the world is reporting it as, we are reporting it. So if we're reporting it, it's legit.
Well, because we're reporting it because it's like amazing. And this woman from South Africa, and this, she's got this little cute smile on her face. And oh my gosh, look at these babies. So we'll keep you up to date on that. So those are the things that caught my attention this week.
Caught our attention this week. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else? I think that's going to be it.
And what caught your attention this week, Mark?
I'm just saying, anything else as we wrap it up?
I'm asking you.
Okay, babe. What was one of your favorite stories of the week?
Well, I just told you these are all the things that were on my mind.
Oh, okay. Oh, those are all yours?
Yeah, these are the ones
they weren't ours together as a show?
Which one did you like?
Wow, babe.
Yeah.
Really? It's always, see how Allison always does this? It's always about separation, not bringing us together. So I'm trying to think of this week. There was a music thing this week that I heard that I liked, but I can't think of what it is now. Oh, no, I know what it was. Back to the Luminary podcast. I love it. Again, if you guys haven't heard it, Talib Kweli has a great podcast, and Dave Chappelle has a great podcast. And this week, Daryl DMC from Run DMC was on and talking about being adopted and talking about his wonderful parents. And I just thought it was great because a lot of times when kids don't know they're adopted, or they do know they're adopted, but he was just saying, if they had not adopted me, I would not probably be in Run DMC.
Yeah.
And that move that they made, and they gave me an amazing life. And I just thought it was cool to hear an adopted person talk about those people who took care.
That's right.
And so again, if you can check it out. But and also he talked about, which I didn't know, how a lot of people say, or criticized Run for not having him on the show, or seeming like there was distance. He said there was never distance. He said when Run was doing his show, I was thinking of how to kill myself. And so I was in a bad place, and I did not want to be on that show because I didn't want to bring his show down. We got love. We're brothers, and we're going to have love forever.
Yeah.
And I thought that was also positive from a standpoint of taking accountability for yourself and thinking that way. So that was something that caught my.
I like that.
Caught my.
And when I think of him, I think of the fact that I've had the pleasure of interviewing him, and it's interesting because he did seem like a very heavy sort of presence. Like you're talking, and he was good, but he's thinking about something, or maybe just I get serious. I get serious. So as opposed to Rev Run, who's always ready with it. So
he was in a space.
You never know the struggle.
He's not in the space anymore, which is great.
You never know the struggle.
So again, that's good.
And speaking of Michelle from Destiny's Child, I guess Destiny's Child is getting a little bit of backlash, or people are reacting. So I'm not sure the whole story. She says they didn't know that she was going through depression when she was in it, and so that was just her private thing. So let's just always make sure that we check on our loved ones. Sometimes it feels like everybody got it going on, we got it together, but you never know. So
you never know.
So speaking of a little R&R, we weren't speaking of that, but just so we are going on vacation. We'll be checking in from the road for all of our subscribers. I'm so impressed that you got up to 1,000 on your
I know. Ding, 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 ding.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Reinventing crew. Shout out to my reinventing crew.
Yes.
And I'm actually on injury reserve. I got a hip issue, so I haven't been on the treadmill every day. Haven't been on the treadmill, period. I have to go to physical training, whatever they call it, and then they're going to get me back healed. So.
All right. Well, we'll be checking in nice and sweet this week, 22, because we were really long the last time. So apologize for that, but we're good now. So this has been the Married in Media Weekly Review.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Goodbye.